Welcome to the 8th class in AZON Masterclass 3. Today we're going to be learning about advertising on our website. Now, we are obviously going to be running Amazon affiliate ads for different products on this site. And earlier in the training we learned about going through Amazon and picking out the products and planning out the different pages that you're going to be using for your advertising. On my site I have this travel accessories page, and there are a number of sub pages for it, and each of these pages are going to contain an Amazon affiliate ad. Some of them may possibly contain more than one ad. It really just depends on what I am targeting on the page and simply what makes sense. You don't want to overload a page with too many advertisements because it can easily end up confusing your visitors and you actually end up getting less sales. But there are some special circumstances where it makes sense to have a number of different advertisements. For example, if you are comparing different models within a brand, you're obviously probably going to need to promote each of those different products that you're comparing. But if you're just trying to recommend a type of product to somebody, just present them with one option, and this will keep things a lot simpler for them. So a good example of this would be my tracking collar page. On this page, I currently just have an article, and within the article I have a couple of subheadings here that I have put in strong, bold HTML tags. Beyond this article, though, the only other thing I'm going to have on this page is an advertisement or two. And my main advertisement for this particular page will obviously be my dog GPS tracking collar. There are definitely more than one of those available on the market, but I'm not going to be promoting all of them. I'm just going to pick one of the best-selling ones that I feel like would be a good fit for a large majority of people. Now, you will have some people that come through and look at that particular product that you've selected, and maybe it's not right for them. But a lot of times they'll still follow it through to Amazon, and they may end up finding a different product that they would prefer instead, and you still get credit for sales like that. So a lot of times people can kind of figure things out like that for themselves as long as you are giving them some clear initial direction to start with. So with that said, your main page that you have that's going to be listing all of your different product pages. In the previous lesson, I had talked to you about generating the HTML for each of these different sections, and these will be linking up to your product pages. So this is something you will likely be going through and doing while following through this lesson, since you're going to be creating these different product pages now, and once you create them, you can then link them up with this main page so they are connected with the rest of your website. So once you have some product pages created, go through like I've done and just put a basic article on them. I would recommend going ahead and setting up all of your different product pages like this, linking them up to the main page, how I had talked to you about before, and then we can proceed on with our advertising. Now, when it comes to the advertising, the main thing that I'm going to be using on this particular website is the product style plugin. This is a plugin that all of you have access to through Team AZON Pro. So simply download the zip file for that plugin, go into your WordPress site, go to plugins and add new and upload plugin, and then you're just going to find that file on your computer and install it to your website. So once you have your AMZPS zip file found and loaded up here, just click on Install Now. Once we see the little Activate Plugin link right here, we just click on that. Now this activates our plugin within WordPress. However, there is some setup required with Product Style to get it started. And this setup just helps to get it prepared to do the things that you want it to do, to make sure you have the correct settings set up that you're going to need to be able to create your advertisements. So first, answer what affiliate network you want to use. That's going to be Amazon. We're just going to be using one Amazon affiliate site with this particular website, since we are targeting Los Angeles dog parks. Chances are we should just have people located in the USA that would be visiting the site and buying products through it, so we're just going to use Amazon.com. Now we need to provide affiliate information. First, you're going to be providing your affiliate ID. This affiliate ID can also be a tracking ID. So you can set up a special tracking ID just for this website so you can see what kind of performance it gets. Next, you have your API keys. There is separate training, especially if you go back to AZON Masterclass 1, if you are not sure how to retrieve these API keys. You can see how that is done. So punch in your API key and your secret key, and then simply click to continue. And finally, what kind of Amazon affiliate links do you want to use on your site? Since this is more of an informational kind of website, and we also might want people to be able to browse through some other relational products once they get over to Amazon, I'm going to use the direct affiliate links with this site instead of using a shopping cart. So now our setup is complete for the plugin. If we go to the Auto Amazon page right here, we can actually begin to search for products. Now, go through your different product pages one at a time and identify what product or products you are wanting to promote there. So, for example, on my GPS tracking collar page, I'm looking for a GPS tracking collar. I happen to know already that I'm going to be going for the tag brand. So I can search that in here. So simply search for your product first. Once you have found the product, before you try to go through and actually create an ad with anything, you can use this little quick ad feature over here, but for your very first advertisement, you actually want to open up the product by clicking on the name here. This is going to bring up a larger view where it's going to show me details about the product, sales rank, more product information, and right here where it says plugin category selection, this is the part that's really important. I'm going to create a new category here. And I'm just going to call this dog accessories. And I will save my category. Now, after you do this, then you can go through and begin selecting product information. You have your dog accessories category, and then whatever product information you select and the order that you choose to display it in, this will end up affecting future products that you create under this same category. So whatever you're trying to go for on your site in terms of the information that you're displaying with a product, you can keep that uniform from one to the next without having to go through this extra step all the time. Now, you can definitely experiment with trying to show different types of product information to your website visitor. And this could also kind of vary depending on what kind of information you're putting in the article on your page itself. Now, I've gotten fairly descriptive in my article about these products, at least in general, so I'm going to be keeping my information here fairly minimal. I'm just going to show the rating and the sale price. And in addition to this, there will also be a title for the product, which is going to be tag GPS pet tracker. I'm just going to shorten this here for the header title and the link text. And then I also need to go through and choose different settings. Now I'm going to do the add-only setting here for my style. This is going to be a simplified style where I'm not displaying things like a product summary. It's just going to be a small condensed advertisement, whereas some of these others, default large, minimal large, gray, they're all pretty decent if you are looking to show some additional product information. So I simply set all of my different settings, and once I have done this, again, this is only something I'm going to have to do once. And then future products that I create are actually going to use this same information to be able to easily create an ad for them. So I can preview my ad down here if I would like before I proceed, or I can just simply create my product ad if I am confident that it's going to look correct. I can go ahead and preview here just so you guys can see what this is going to look like. Now the ad preview, it's not necessarily going to show up exactly like this on your website, but it's a pretty close indication of what it may end up looking like. You're mainly looking at the overall design of the advertisement here to make sure it's going to look how you want it to. So I'm going to click Create Product Ad now. You can see up here that my ad was created successfully. So now I can go through and continue to generate more product ads in the same manner that I just did this one. So I can go to my next page, and I might need something on this page. I have a couple different products that I'm actually going to be promoting. I've got seat belts, I have the step stairs, and then a hammock for the car as well. I'll type in seatbelt for dog here and search it. So there are a couple of different ones that I can choose from. I can try to look at more information on Amazon about them if I need to by clicking on this product page button. Once I have found what I want to use, though, all I really need to do is click on a checkbox here. So I'm going to go for this Kurgo direct to seat belt. So I'm just going to click on the checkbox, and then I'm going to go down here to the bottom where it says select a category, and I'm going to click on dog accessories. There's the category I just created with the other product. And now I will click on quick add. After I've done this, my ad for that product is created for me automatically, and it's using the same style that I just used on the other product. As you can see here, I have my reviews, my title, my price, and the design is all the same, except I didn't have to go through and select all that information like I did the first time around. So I can just continue here to find the different products that I want to promote. I'll pick out this hammock seat cover here. There's also this one down below, both by the same brand. One's a little more expensive, one has a better sales rank. I'll go for the one with the better sales rank. So I can just check it again, select my category, and click on quick add. Let's see, my final one is step stairs. So again, I have a few different things to choose from. I have these couple of different ones. There are also some other options I know from my initial research. There's some ramps. There's this particular one here, I believe, is the one that I'm going to be using. Solve It Pup Step for pets. So I will add that in. Now, I've already gone through and created 4 different product ads up to this point. One of them is going to be my GPS tracking collars. So I can just click on Edit here on my GPS tracking collar page. Then, wherever I want my ad to show up, I just click here in the content, then I click on the PS icon, click on Saved Ads, and then I can simply find my product right here and click on Insert Ad. I'm going to go ahead and update this page just so we can see what has happened here. So as you can see, I have my product ad, but it's hanging over to the left here, and there's really not much in the way of like separation in between this and my other content, just based on where I am trying to put this thing. So I wanted to point this out to you so you can see how to actually go through, make some changes to this to get the ad to show up exactly where and how you want it to. So what I'm going to do is go back to my plugin, and I'm going to go to the Styles page. Now remember, I had set up all of these ads with the ad-only style. So I can edit this particular style to try to make some adjustments to the way it is going to get displayed. So if I look back at my ad, let's say I wanted to move the title of my product above the review rating. Maybe I want the review rating in the middle, or maybe I want it all the way down at the bottom. You can rearrange the order of this type of information in your product really easily through the style settings here. Your rating, your price, shipping information, the special button, and also the text for your product link. This kind of stuff can all be rearranged with these settings right here at the bottom. So rating type and price, I have it showing with my advertisement. I can choose what kind of rating information is shown, and here I can choose where that is going to show up. So I can change my rating location to the bottom. And then I can save my style. Now once I change my style, I have to publish it again over here by clicking on Publish Styles. Then I could return to my page and see how the information was rearranged. So I just moved the review rating down below the title. Now, another thing you can do is mess with the alignment of an ad. So how this one here is floating to the left, what I can do is actually change that. You have your ad box alignment setting and an inner ad box alignment. The inner ad box alignment is referring to the information that is within your box here. So I'm centering this content here within the box, but the box itself is off to the left of the page. So you can see that represented here in these two settings. So if I wanted it off to the right, I can just change the ad box alignment to the right, and that will push everything over to the other side. So if I save my style again and publish it and refresh my page, you can now see that my ad floats off to the right side of my page. And this actually is a lot more user-friendly, I think, in terms of being able to see what is going on and for it to not be mashing into the rest of your article content as well. And using these small ads, you can put a couple of them going down the length of a page for each of the different sections that you are working with. So I'm actually going to take this ad here. I'm just going to move it up one more line so it is even with my title of that paragraph here. So you can see it just bumped it up a little bit and kept this information right here all together. So now I basically want to continue on and do this for each of the different pages that I have on my accessories page. So I have seat belts for dogs, I have my hammock here, and then down below I have my step stairs. So if I take a look at this page again, you can see what has happened here. And this also helps you to understand something you need to keep an eye out for. If you are floating ads like this off to the right on a page, or even to the left for that matter, and you have articles that may not be longer than the actual advertisements are, you can end up with a situation like this where they cascade one on top of the next. Well, there are a number of things that you can do to try to correct this behavior. One of the things you can do is to try to spread your ads out a little bit more. So for example, I could move this first ad all the way to the top of the page to try to help create a little extra room here for these other advertisements. So you can see my first one, this works out pretty good. It still runs into my seatbelt paragraph, and it allows enough room for the next one below it to be showing. However, my final paragraph and advertisement is still running on top of the next one. So the question is, what can you do about this one? There's a few options here again. One of them is to actually shorten the advertisements themselves. If you look at the descriptions for each of these different products in terms of the title that is being shown, some of them are fairly short and simple, and some of them get really descriptive. So you can actually reduce the amount of words in each of these header titles to shorten the advertisements themselves. So if I flip back over to my plugin, if I go to the ads page, I can alter the information for that header text. Now that's not actually the ad name itself. It's going to be down here. My link anchor text is actually what is showing up there. So I can try to reduce this and get rid of some of the information that is not really necessary, or it's repeat type of information. So I'm just going to change this to waterproof hammock seat cover. And I'm going to save my ad. And I can do this for the other ones as well and try to reduce the amount of text being shown with them as well. I'll leave the tether word on. So now I have shortened all three of these ads in terms of the actual text that is going to be contained within them. So this makes all of them just a little bit shorter for me and may or may not be able to help with getting rid of this cascading effect. Now, as you can see with these, it actually did not with the bottom two, even though it did shrink the overall size. So at this point, I could choose to do one of two different things. Actually, I guess I could do three different things. One, I could eliminate one of these two ads if I felt like I could do without it, or it just really wasn't that important. Number two, I could try to move this second ad up a little bit more into this paragraph to create that extra room. So I might have all three of these going down the side of the page. I'll go ahead and show you this option here. That would be just taking this ad here, moving it up to the next paragraph, and updating my changes. So you can see now that this actually worked to separate these different ads for me. They're all now floating off to the right-hand side of my page. However, you may not like the fact that they don't line up with their correct paragraphs. If that is the case, there's still another option that you can choose to do. And that option is to actually use a little bit of HTML and CSS coding to get this to show up how you want it to. One of the easiest things that you can do is put a div tag with CSS in it, and this is going to cause the paragraph to break onto a new line. So I'm just going to put clear both inside of this HTML tag. This is something I've done before. You've probably seen me do this particular line of HTML and CSS coding a number of times. So I can put this right before each section where I want the ad to be breaking down into a new paragraph. So I'm going to update my changes with adding these two in. And you'll be able to see now what has happened here. Now, here, not much really happened because this already fit correctly. Here, however, it has caused some blank space here to force these two ads to be on top of each other instead of kind of cascading up next to each other. So, using this last option, you will end up creating some white space on your page. However, you can kind of set it up this way, identify where you have that white space at, and then maybe you can just go back through and add an extra paragraph of text right here, and maybe add another one down here at the bottom, just so you fill up those different gaps if you choose to keep all of these different ads on your page. Now, there are a number of different options within the product style plugin that you can choose from in terms of how you want to display your advertising. You have obviously the different ad styles that you can select from, but you could also use things like comparison charts. A comparison chart would take multiple products like these and put them all into a single chart with separate advertisements still in that chart, but it'll group them all together instead of having them all separate like this. But in a lot of cases, that comparison chart is really only something that you would want to use if there's a reason to compare the products. So they would need to be similar types of products to make sense to put them in a comparison chart. Whereas these here are not similar. These are completely different types of products. So using a comparison chart here really does not make a lot of sense. Now, a final kind of ad that you can create with the product style plugin is actually something that I do like to utilize on this type of a website. That is actually a text ad. If you go through each of your paragraphs of content and try to identify a keyword or two or a phrase that might represent what your product is really about. And do it kind of towards the end of your content about that product. You can turn that into an Amazon text link, and a lot of people will often click on these over the image-based ads. So for example, my seatbelts for dogs paragraph here, where I have my ad being shown off to the right of this, I can take the phrase seatbelt here down at the end. I can click on PS, click on saved ads. I can find my seatbelt tether here, but then instead of clicking insert ad, I can change the special ad type option. And I can set this as a text link. I like to use the plain text link option. You can do styled text links, try to add the previews into them, but this will also force the preview to show up on the other ads. You can even just do a plain buy now button that just stands alone if you have a reason to build that into the design of your page. But for this purpose, I'm just going to use the plain text link, and I'm going to click on insert ad. Now you can see where it says text link equals text, and I have my short code and my ID number, but the actual text that I had selected here has disappeared. Well, what's really going to be happening here is that it's not going to create a text link out of a particular keyword phrase, but it's actually going to create a text link using the text link information that you set up in the advertisement. Like when we were going through here and shortening these phrases, those are the phrases that are going to end up getting used when we set up these text links here. So I'll update this page so you can see this in action. So you can see now I have the same text right here. Kurgo direct to seatbelt tether is being used for my text link down below here, and this is an affiliate link for that particular product, just like clicking on the actual ad would have done. So I now have this text link. So I can do the same thing with each of my products, kind of down towards the end of my paragraph. If I need to, I can even add in a final sentence to my last paragraph. Take a look at this on Amazon and make it a text link to the product. Take a look at the waterproof hammock seat cover on Amazon.com. Could be the final sentence of my paragraph right here and even down here, to encourage people to click along if they like that product and want to get it, to go on to Amazon and to complete a purchase for it. So make sure you are utilizing these different approaches to advertising your products, depending on whatever will work the best. However, in a lot of cases, you can combine the normal ads with the text ads like I was doing here. Or maybe you could combine a comparison chart with some plain text ads. I like to include some of these plain text ads here and there within my content one way or another, though, because these really help to increase some of the clicks that you're going to get to those products. So now with my particular site, I have my listing page here, and some of the products here I have not yet added an image onto. The image here off of a product that I'm promoting can be a really easy way to add an image onto your actual page. So I could put the step stairs, or I could put the hammock, or I could put the seat belt off of this page, just whatever I feel like will fit the best. And then I could go back here to my main listing page and I can add in my image. So my image is going to go right here. And then I'm going to be turning this into a link to the page. So I could just use the same link from up here, or I can recreate it just like I did here. So now I have linked text and I have a linked image for this product. And this is going to be for my main category page listing here. So I can continue to do this same thing going down my page to complete this page, which will show all of my different product pages. And then I go through my individual pages and I add my ads and include some text links as well, and make sure you're putting the text links in kind of strategic positions. Think about when somebody's going to be done reading about the product on your page. That's where you want to be dropping that text link at, because that's where they're more inclined to be done with your content and ready to move on to the next step. So that's where I like to drop them, kind of at the end of the paragraph or as close to the end of it as possibly makes sense. So go through all the different pages on your site in terms of your ad pages. Set up the actual pages themselves, write out your content for them, go through product style in the Auto Amazon section and generate the ads for those various pages. Place your ads on the pages, place your text links, and also update your images on your main advertisement page category. Once you have done all of these different things, your advertising should be complete, and in fact, pretty much your entire website will be complete at this point as well. The last thing that I really am looking to do at this point in the process is to set up a required page, something that I've done in previous training, kind of having an about page. So I'll put a basic amount of content on this about page. I'll just talk about what the website is about, who we're geared towards, and then I make sure to include the required statement for being an Amazon affiliate on that page as well. So this required Amazon affiliate statement, you can see it on my page here. I fill in the name of my site, lostdogs.com, and then I use the standard statement. Is a participant in the Amazon Services LLC Associates Program, an affiliate advertising program designed to provide a means for sites to earn advertising fees by advertising and linking to Amazon.com. This is the basic statement that I need to have on this About page. However, I still go beyond that, and I try to write a couple hundred words of content, so this isn't the only thing that is there. So I might say something like, this website is dedicated to dog owners living in and around the Los Angeles, California area. Staff from this site has personally visited each of the parks or beaches, reviewed to take photographs and provide a unique perspective that can often be hard to find elsewhere online. So, just give a little bit of basic information. Tell people why you exist, why you did what you did, why your website is about what it's about. Now, even though I only have one paragraph here, I would encourage you to write 2, 3, maybe 4 paragraphs to just kind of elaborate on what it is that you're doing. Now, beyond the dog parks, I also kind of mention other information that might be there. Could be my travel safety information in terms of my accessories that I am promoting. Could also be my park rules or different supporting materials pages. I might make some mention of those here. This is also a good way that you can link up to another appropriate part of your site. So I could link up parks or beaches right here to the parks and beaches section of my site. I could write some information about, we also provide recommended dog travel accessories to help to you to have a safe trip from your home to various dog-friendly destinations in your city. Unless you're extremely close to one of these locations, you'll need to ride in a car, truck, or other vehicle to get there. But many pets are often injured during travel because the proper precautions are not taken to ensure their safety. Our recommended accessories will help to guide you to the products you may need to have that peace of mind. And then I go on to say Lost Dogs is a participant of the Amazon Associates program using this required statement. And I usually also follow it up to say something like, however, the products that we do promote are those that we highly recommend for dog owners in specific situations mentioned on this website. So again, I have a pretty basic page here, but the point here of this page is that it's going to have this required statement in here. I need this Amazon affiliate statement somewhere on my website to comply with the rules of being an Amazon affiliate. So I still provide some basic search engine listing and social network listing information for this page. I don't usually worry about associating any kind of an image with it or doing things like allowing comments on the page. So it's a fairly basic page, but it accomplishes something that is required for me to have on my website. So I'm going to go ahead and publish this page. And the last thing that I need to do is to go to Appearance and Menus to connect this page up with my website. So I'm just going to add this on to the end of my menu. About Us. I'll say about lostdogs.com and save my menu. So now it is linked up right here and I can reach this page. And as you can see, I have a auto link that is actually set up going back to my travel accessories page. That's one of the final things that I want to mention to you here today. I had briefly pointed this out at one point before, but this is kind of where it becomes a little more important to make sure all of your content is kind of interlinked together. You want to think about two different things when you are linking your content together within your own website. Number one is SEO. You want to think, what is relevant? How do I want things connected on my website? And where do I want to be passing the power of various pages on my website? Because when you link from one page to another page, the page with the outgoing link is passing some of its power to the page that is getting that link. So you can kind of funnel the power to different parts of your website in this manner. Now, for this kind of website, my dog park pages are really the ones that I am trying to get good search rankings on. However, it is the product pages that I really want to have the traffic to because that's where I'm going to be making money. So I'm going to be focusing on my park and beach pages elsewhere on my site to pass power to them from my homepage, from supporting material pages. But then I want the rest of my site to be pulling traffic back in to my product pages so I can refer sales. So I will usually go through my different product pages that I have and go to the SEO settings and the links tab, and I will set inbound auto link anchors for this particular page. So I'm going to be using keywords that are relational to what this page is about or to what product I am trying to promote on this page. So whenever I have used one of these phrases somewhere else in my site, those phrases will then get linked back up to this page. So this is going to help me to funnel traffic in to my product pages. So for this page, I've done a decent little list here. You don't have to do a lot. It just kind of depends on what'll work. And you should already kind of know by this point what kind of keywords and stuff you've used elsewhere on your website. So use those kind of words here, because unless these words appear somewhere else on your website, it's not actually going to link up anything for you. And then I also make sure to click on this Don't Add Auto Links to Anchor Text found in this post, because I don't want this post linking to other posts or trying to link back to itself. So I would update my changes after adding in my link text down here. And finally, there's one page in the SEO plugin that can be good to go to kind of fine-tune how these auto links are actually going to function. And that is going to be my Deep Link Juggernaut page. I'm going to visit this page, and you can see this will kind of show you the different links that you have set up. But throughout these other tabs here, you can actually control these links. So the content link settings is really the one that I am more interested in here. You can control whether the auto links are getting added to media, like an image caption, for example. I might not want it to be linking up from that. So I could just have it linking from posts and pages on my site. Self-linking is something else. I leave these disabled. I don't want posts to be linking up to themselves, and I also don't want them to link up to posts that they basically came to that post from. So leaving these two empty will accomplish that. Now, quantity is something else that I find really important. The default settings in this plugin will create a lot of auto links. And personally, for a smaller website like this, I don't think that is really necessary. I think that's a little overkill. So I reduced this number down to 3. Don't add any more than 3 auto links per page. I also don't want the same anchor text linked up more than once per page, and I don't want the same destination linked up more than once per page. So just set your numbers as 3, 1, and 1, and have all of these checked. Now, there are other options here that you can use if you have certain tags that you don't want auto-linked. For example, your strong tags that you're using for your headers. If you don't want those linked up automatically, you can set the strong tag right here to be excluded. You can also do siloing. If you have a fairly complex website and you only want posts to be linking up to other similar types of posts, you can restrict that with these siloing options. So let's say I had a number of different categories on my website. Let's say I have a places category, a news category, and an events category. And then I have my places set with an auto link for the name of that place. And then my news and events pages, I might use the name of a relational dog park in one of those articles. So that would get automatically linked back up to the actual place page. Well, if I wanted to try to restrict how those links were created in terms of what pages they were allowed to point to, I could do something like keeping them from only linking to the same category. But if I was doing a places and a news and events category and I wanted to direct people to my places category, I would want news and events linking up to my places category. So the tag is another option that I could use. I could set tags in my different places posts and my news and events posts. And that way it would only link up to other posts in those other categories that shared at least one of the same tags. So I could use a tag like the name of the place, or if it was a dog park or a dog beach or something like that. However I wanted to have my site separated in terms of the content, in terms of how I want my SEO to work out. I could use this to fine-tune it, but this is really more important when you get into having a more complicated site. I think if you're building a site just like the one that I have created throughout the course of this training, you would not need to really be worrying about this. However, these other settings that I was talking to you about can be very important. So save your changes there and go through your product pages and set all of your different auto link text anchors. So once you have done all this, you should have a complete website now that has advertising on it, good content, and likely by this point can already be bringing in traffic for you. So the next thing that we're going to do in the next AZON Masterclass is actually continue on with some marketing work. So we can try to enhance what we have already done with this website, try to bring even more traffic to it, direct it to the right places that we want the traffic to be going to on this website. This in turn is also going to be helping us to boost our search rankings even more.